All right, so lately I've been doing a little bit of updating to the kit and making sure that I've got all the right parts and pieces to do a little bit of like action camera stuff. Basically, I've been doing some motovlogging and I've been using action cameras in various ways to capture different kind of car and automotive related stuff. Like it seems to work really well for that. It seems to be, you know, good on those types of subjects. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of the time I'm out during the day for that stuff. A lot of the time I don't want to have a huge bulky camera when I'm riding around on a motorcycle. So it works out well. So let's check out the kit that I've gotten so far, that I've sort of built up over time, and the different parts and pieces and what I use them for. Let's go chat. All right, so this is my aggregated Insta360 kit, or arsenal, whatever you want to call it. Each part kind of has its own use, its own specific scenario that I put it through, and its own strengths and weaknesses. So let's kind of chat about these little parts and pieces here. I'll start with the simplest, most compact, and we'll kind of move our way up to the more complicated stuff. So this right here, this is a device called the Insta360 Go 2. Interesting little kind of, looks like, what is that? AirPods. They look a lot like an AirPod case, right? So basically you crack this open and inside you have a controller, which you can press to connect. There we go, everything connects up. You get a little vibration as confirmation. And then you have this little pill-sized camera on the inside that you can control. It's magnetic, it's wireless, controllable via Bluetooth, like all of this stuff. It's pretty crazy actually. And there's lots of things that you can do with it because it's waterproof. So you can actually like dunk it in your drink. You know, you can put it on your forehead while you're riding through the rain. You can wear it on your shirt through the magnetic necklace that comes with it. There's a lot of different things that come with it, a lot of different parts and pieces. And it makes it super interesting and super easy to use. Because it's so compact too, you can easily pull it out, just pop a couple shots off. It's all right there. It's all you need. And honestly, the audio's fairly good. Like it's good enough to get some kind of selfie stuff, and it self-stabilizes, it horizon levels for you. Got this 180-degree field of view so that you can spin it any direction. Like if you go like this, it doesn't look like you're moving the frame at all. And then also, if you shoot with the Pro settings, which I believe is what I have it set on here, 1440p. What mode are you on? Oh, it starts in regular video mode. So Pro Video, when I set it over to that, basically it shoots in a setting that allows me to, in post, AKA in my phone or my mobile device, or even on my computer if I download the files there, I would be able to choose the aspect ratio of the video. So it could be 9:16, 16:9, 1:1, 4:3, like whatever you really want. So that's super handy. It's really versatile on the road. It transfers quickly to your cell. You know, you can send the videos that you take, any photos that you take, directly to your smartphone and then post them right up that day. Super simple. Next up on the list is the sort of next step that I took in this ecosystem journey. The Insta360 One R and the One RS are modular cameras. And if you don't know what I mean by that, it literally means that the cameras come apart. The battery comes off. This is what the brain comes off from the lens, and then you can interchange all these different pieces. So like this is another lens for the same camera. You can put it this way if you're going to be shooting, you know, you want to be able to see the screen and then shoot ahead of you, or you can flip it around and put it into like a selfie mode. And then if you want to, you can use it like this. I don't think it's quite as waterproof without the housing. I don't think you're actually supposed to submerge them when they're without their housing, but this is what the housing looks like. Basically, you've got this this little cage that goes around it. It's nothing too big. It's nice and easy to switch these out too. This is another That's a 1RS, and then this one right here is a 1R. So they're slightly different. There we go. There we go. Get my positioning correct here. And there you go. There's your camera. Beautiful. I think I'm using the 1R battery instead of the 1RS battery. That's a slight difference in size. It still works on the 1R, but that makes it just fit within the cases a little bit better. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now these have been great. I've really enjoyed using them. The 1RS with the boost lens, which is, or the 1RS with the boosted battery base has been kind of my favorite. It's actually the lightest combo compared to the same lens with the cage on. So you get larger battery space. You get not quite as good waterproofing, but you also get lighter weight on the front of your helmet. So I think this is kind of the perfect combination. This 4K lens especially, it's got an FPV mode, which is like super, super wide angle. It's even wider than their wide angle lens, which is really interesting because I went on a hunt for this thing. The widest angle mode on here is called FPV. It's wider than ultra wide modes, all that stuff. It looks really cool. That's what I've been using as the helmet cam on my motovlog videos lately. Yeah, this combo with this lens, the 1RS, and the boosted battery base, you get this really powerful combo that will last for hours on end, and it's very lightweight. So this is my favorite combination for daytime, any sort of like vlogs type stuff. It really works well. It's been pulling its weight a whole lot lately. So that works great. But then if we get into nighttime, this is what I do. Switch over to the wide angle 1-inch lens, which is really interesting. As you can see, it's a much larger actual front element. This is mostly glass though at the same time. So you can take this off and you'll be able to see the true element underneath. It's not so much larger than the 4K mod. Like realistically, they're not a massive difference in size, but definitely makes a huge difference in the amount of light that your sensor is able to pick up. And that's the big difference. This has a larger 1-inch sensor, 1/1.3 or something like that, 1/1.8 inch sensor, and a wider lens on it. So you're physically collecting more light while also having a larger sensor to put more light onto, which is nice. So at night, you get these really crisp videos, even if you're kind of rolling around in the city or something like that. And I've got some recent footage from where I've been doing this. The only thing is, in order to find this lens, it's a serious challenge. So if you go on eBay or on Amazon, you might be able to find them. On eBay, you'll have better luck at finding them for less expensive. The only problem is it's almost the same price to get a 1RS, a 1R with the lens, with its battery, with its case, usually with a boosted base as well, and all kinds of other things, instead of just getting the lens itself. Like I've seen $20 differences between that, like 280 bucks for the lens itself, and then $300 for the entire kit and caboodle. So keep an eye out, check out, your local listings and see what you can find, but they're definitely worth it. This lens in particular is definitely worth it for low light performance. If you're rolling around getting any sort of nighttime video in a city, it makes a huge difference. Lighting looks phenomenal through it. And you can judge for yourself based on some of these clips that I'm playing, but I think this is my favorite lens if it just wasn't so dang heavy. That's the only problem, is that it's really heavy on here. So even though this is the lightest configuration, this is heavier than this. So, and by quite a decent margin. I think it's like 30-40 grams difference, which when you're strapping this to the front of a helmet and going 80 miles an hour down the highway, that makes a difference. My next step in the process with these is to hopefully find ND filters for this, but I'm really not sure how well that would work. It seems like a really tough kind of thing to just slap an ND on and have it actually stick. Next, we've got this sweet little charger for the 1R and the 1RS cameras. And now this has been working really well just because it's super compact. You have 2 batteries that you can click onto. It works with 1R and 1RS batteries. So both of them work on here. But basically you can just click it on either side and then charge your batteries via the USB-C port up here. And this allows for quick charging while you're on the go. So I usually have like a battery pack with me that has QC in it. So quick charge abilities. Plug in USB-C into that, USB-C into this. You'll have your batteries charged again in another like half hour to an hour, maybe. Like it really doesn't take long. I don't know, maybe that battery is just like really good at quick charge, but this thing accepts the quick charge as well. That's the important part of the puzzle. So you can get your batteries back up to charge. You can get, you know, have the ability to continue rolling throughout the day unless you can stay plugged in. But yeah, this thing works fantastically. It's been helping me kind of like keep my cameras running throughout long days of shooting. And this has mostly been paired with this one, which is another 1RS. So we have 2 1RSs and 2 1RSs, here we go, and a 1R. So this is sort of like a backup, sort of little vloggy camera. And then this is our like Motovlog setup. So this camera has been my dash cam basically. So it you know, obviously gets 360 footage. So I have it sitting up on the front of my motorcycle and therefore it's getting, you know, whatever's in front of me, but you can kind of see a little bit of what's behind me, to my sides. You can see what I'm doing, if I'm paying attention, all that stuff. So it does really work well. It makes a lot of sense to use this on a motorcycle, and I would really recommend something like this to anyone who's going on a motorcycle. It does have a loop recording function, which is nice. So it'll loop over the existing videos that it's already shot. If you don't go through with downloading them or clearing them out. But yeah, this paired with this means I've got all day recording. I can record whatever I want, and I really don't have to worry about battery life. This thing keeps running for, you know, probably about an hour and 45 minutes, recording the entire time. And then I'll switch it out with other batteries. And by the time that this is done, that third battery, I've now got fully recharged batteries once again and can just continue the cycle. So it would take me, I think, 6 or 7 batteries before I'd fully run out, but this would way fill up before that ever got to be an actual issue. And now behind this, back here, you can see these cables. These are adapters for all the 1RS cameras. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of frustrating because you have to get this little adapter, which goes USB-C to another USB-C and a 3.5 millimeter jack, which I'll show you here. Let's see, this one, is anyone? Well, this one's in the case. So I'm gonna pull this one out. Basically, you take the little door on the side, the battery door, you're gonna pop that out and you can pull it out. It's on this little tether, and that tether pops right back in. It makes it really easy to do that. I'm glad that they've included that function. So this little thing right here just pops right out, but you can see, you can just barely see it. There's a little hole in here and you can just kind of press it back into there. There you go. And now it's connected again, right? It's just a little delicate thing. That's all it really needs to hang on. Boop, let's pop that out. And then we can take our adapter here, and that lines up right up here, clicks into place, holds real nice and secure, which is good. And then you end up with the 3.5 millimeter, there we go. Then you end up with the 3.5 millimeter on the top and your USB-C recharge on the bottom. So the nice part about it is that you can recharge and use your camera at the same time. It doesn't prevent you from doing any of that. So we've got tethers for both of our 1RSs there, our 1R as well. Works for either one. And yeah, had no problems with those so far. They've worked great. Got a couple of these 4K lenses, And then another part that connects to all of these is this Wi-Fi or GPS remote. And now this thing's been it's plastic construction, it's real lightweight, does its job decently, but every now and then I have an issue with it where I'll use it to start a recording, which is what actually initiates the data send. So you have to start the recording with this thing, but if you let it go too long that your recordings, like it stops and then it starts a new recording to continue, like basically it cuts like a 4 gig file or something like that, and then we'll continue recording after that. Because it does that, every now and then I think it gets a little confused with this device and it can just like really gum up the works. So I haven't fully figured out how to get this working perfectly, but I think I have a decent workflow. We'll see in the next couple of Motovlogs that I put out, but I'm trying to get that GPS data in there so you can see speed, you know, my lean, all that stuff. It's pretty cool data. You can even see like the actual map of your route. It's wild. So hopefully we can get all that working. I want to see what that's like. And yeah, it's been an interesting addition to the kit, but you really do have to be careful with this one. It's got some weird quirks about it. So check it out if you want to. I think it's like 75, 100 bucks, kind of around that range. It's worth it if you can get it to work, if it works for your needs, but odd cookie, that one. All right, and then finally, to round out the kit, there is one more part. It's still technically a 1RS, but it's its own kind of beast. Basically, this thing is a 1-inch 360 mod. It's a little, much better. Okay, so this is the 1-inch 360 mod for the 1RS cameras. It comes in 3 parts. So you have your lenses right here. I want to show this to the big camera because it looks cool. Yeah, you got your big lens, 1-inch Leica lenses on both sides. Beautiful. Then you have your case, and I would pull it out if it wasn't stuck in there with a quick release on the bottom, but there's a battery in there as well. You can find extras of those batteries. They're tough to find, but it is possible. And basically you take the brain of the 1RS, you take that controller mod, and you slide it on into there, fits right in there. This pops onto here, and now you've got a vertical camera instead of the sort of GoPro style that the 1RS typically have. You also have a much larger sensor. It's much better for low light, and it shoots in 6K. So you get some really interesting differences here. You know, all of these different mods have their own capabilities, their strengths and their weaknesses. The 4K mod has a 6K widescreen version, which is 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio. In 16:9, it shoots beautiful 4K though. I would honestly suggest just sticking with that mode. But I would like to do some testing with the cinematic 6K mode. Then the 1RS with the Leica lens, the 1-inch mod, that shoots in, I think, 5.7K or 5.8K even. You get an even higher resolution on that one than on your typical action camera mod. And it's just a really solid combination. The only thing that's a little bit annoying is that when you switch to this vertical mod, you do have to get a different adapter, of course, to get your microphone and your charging into there. So this is just, this guy pops in like that. You can tell it's definitely made more for the X2 and X3 series of cameras, but you know, it does the trick. It seems to work so far. I did film one motovlog on it so far. You might be seeing some footage for that right now. I haven't even checked that out yet. I'm really curious to see how this works, but yeah, that's the Insta360 cameras. And then the only little detail left is these things. You know, I don't know what to tell you, but I just don't want these things falling off my stuff. So I keep tethering them to the poles. I tether them to my helmet. These are little like metal braided wires, and they're super handy. Totally worth checking out. These little tethers, I think, are very worth it. Like, it's $7, $8, and then you've got a little bit of added safety. So definitely check those out. There's gonna be a link in the description for Insta360. We do have an affiliate code for them, But at the same time, you know, all of these products are really just specific use case for the stuff that I need to do. So if it doesn't fit the bill of what you're looking for, there might be some other better options out there. And, you know, I've done a lot of research on this ecosystem, and at the same time, I did kind of step 2 or 3 steps into it before really like researching all of the other brands at the time. Now, where the brands are, they've all sort of like gone into their own little realms a little bit. DJI seems to be like the low light kind of cinematic kings, and then GoPro seems to have their own sort of like, well, it's action and easy and wireless connects to your headphones, stuff like that. Insta360, I think, is moving in that direction. They're starting to take some notes from what people really want with their action camera products, and we're starting to get things like connectivity with the connectivity with AirPods and with Bluetooth devices. What I'm really looking for is connectivity with the Sena headset system. That's what I currently use on the motorcycle, and it's a little bit, it's another one of those situations where I had it before I knew what all of the other options were about. So this is just sort of, you know, putting me more into the mindset of really do your research when it comes to tech stuff like this, because these ecosystems can determine a whole lot of, you know, the rest of your kit. Basically, you know, these will work well with one type of filmmaking and with one type of other camera equipment and other phones and stuff like that. So, you know, do your research, and hopefully this helped a little bit, helped you kind of pick the different groups. But, you know, my world is really Insta360 right now, and hopefully there's you know, there's some stuff here that can help you out a little bit. Hope you like the footage along the way. Hope you like the video. Until next time, everybody, peace out. Well, that worked out pretty cool. I don't know what to do right now, because I normally come over here first and then do my outro over there. So, all right, well, I guess it's gonna be a weird one. Peace, everybody. Woo, woo.